Okay, get the music going. I like to start warming up with everybody. Oh, I forgot mi agua. I have my tea. Let me get my water. Okay. Let's see here. 168-849. Just give a chance to see if anyone's gonna get on. What the heck is going on? 168. Okay, there we go. Send out a mass text.
Morning, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How have you been?
Hey, yeah, flowing.
Good shit. I love it. I love it.
Really focused. Mostly, I've been honestly just like taking space for myself.
Good, bro. We all need that.
Yes, very
Yep.
important.
Yes, sir.
Very, very. I'm just sending out a text to everyone. Sometimes it gets a lot of people on. I really like look forward to these live streams now, where it was just kind of routine. Like, I don't know, 2 months ago. Now I'm like, yo, Wednesday. It's
Stoking for Wednesdays. I love it. Yeah, bro. Last week was awesome, man. Very good. Very insightful. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, last week was flowing. I was in the jungle too, so that I'm pretty sure, or I was on my way. I can't remember actually.
Days are
But
blending together, huh?
yeah, that's how it goes. Yes. Okay. Giving them the link. I'm gonna do the Discord link. I'm like trying to just funnel as many people into this Discord as possible and then make it really easy when we do like go live to have a big group. And for those of you that have already seen, we named it Atlantis. So there's probably going to be a lot of people on that don't even know what Atlantis is in the background, and we were moving forward really fast with that, and I pumped the brakes a bit, and I'm really glad I did because I'm going to talk about today or yesterday, the last honestly few days, what's been going on in the crypto space. And Atlantis, I'm still fully pressing forward. It's just going at a slower rate now. Um, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it, but mainly it's like looking at funds, multi-billion dollar funds that have crashed in the crypto space. There's now two big ones, two huge ones that crashed, and it's a common crypto thing, but also a big crypto exchange basically defaulted last couple days. Some of you may have seen. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll go over it. I'm gonna share my screen. I just gotta make sure to send this text. I'm not like the best at multitasking. I'm like really good if I just focus on one thing. Okay, perfect. Okay, just sent it out. Cool. No time limit today. I don't have any calls right after this. So yeah, I'm just gonna flow until I'm done, until I feel good. Or feel expressed, I should say. I feel good now. So you maybe the couple of you that hopped on briefly heard I mentioned stuff in the crypto space. So I shared a video in the Signal group, private Signal group, to share what had happened, but I'm going to go more in depth now because I found out as I was creating the video yesterday, sharing what happened in the crypto space, more than happened. And I found it out like on the video. So that was cool. Let's put it very, very plainly. Oh, shoot. Look at that. Meta fires, Facebook fires 11,000 employees. Okay, so this is CZ. This is the guy who created Binance. He's the CEO of Binance. If you don't know what Binance is, it's the largest crypto exchange in the world. And it's sucks if you're a United States citizen, you don't have the full access. You have to use Binance US. So it doesn't matter though. I don't personally use Binance. I'm technically a US citizen. I try to not to use things that I have to verify my identity. Very purposefully do that by principle mostly because I just think that I should be free to do what I want with the things that I create and receive and give in this world. And so anyway, I fully think that it's awesome. Like when it comes to taxes and stuff, contributing to a community where that it helps to make that community better is awesome. I totally am down for that. However, where I'm from, good old US of A, they use the tax money for way more than that. They seem to make other countries' communities better than our community with the money that all the tax money that's paid. So, anyways, on that note, just a tangent. That's why I don't really use centralized exchanges. On top of that, this is going to be a reminder for you today. For any of you that use FTX.com, you already know. But if you don't, you may not know, but withdrawals on FTX.com they're going to come back pretty soon. And asked what platform do I use to get around verification? Coinex is a broker. They're unregulated that I've used, and I've run a couple $100,000 through Coinex without any problem. In and out, and in depositing Bitcoin, also withdrawing Bitcoin without any problem. There's another one, the Trader's Domain, where I did less money with them in the past. Like I probably moved 50 to 60,000 through them. Now like when it comes to buying crypto specifically, what I'll do is I'll take money out from, I have a lot of money that I've been stashing in crypto since like 2018, 2019, that I don't really touch. And I like a lot, there's a lot that went up and went down. But like what I'd say, my 15-20% of what I'm ready to invest in crypto, I have a stash that I made that's like a 10-year that I don't count in anything, and I don't touch it. And no matter how broke I get, I don't touch it. And so, anyways, what I usually will do is I'll trade and make my income on either a trading account, or I will have received crypto as payment for something. Or what I try to do, especially when I want more crypto or I want to add to whatever stash, I will anything I have, I'll try to trade people for crypto, or if I'm selling something or if I'm providing a service or whatever, right? So I've received a lot of crypto from coaching, from real estate. I don't do real estate a ton, but just like side things where I've referred people. And I've also been paid cash, and I have people that will take the cash and give me crypto for it. So it's kind of my ways around getting having to verify identity. Eventually, we'll be moving somewhere. If it doesn't change soon, I'll be moving somewhere that I can effectively use crypto a lot more easily. I live in Mexico, and there's a lot of places that accept crypto, but not nearly as much as I'd like. I used to be able to pay my rent in crypto. I can't right now. So there are countries, there are places in the world that we can do that without a problem. Yeah, so I'll share my journey on that note. I'll probably be going to the Caribbean islands. I won't say which specific ones yet because I'm probably going to go to a couple of them, and it's probably within the next 3-4 months also. Anyways, let's go back to the subject at hand. Yeah, so FTX, basically what happened was there was rumors that came out that FTX was insolvent. No, not FTX specifically, Alameda Research. So who is Alameda Research? Alameda Research is that oh, froze for a second, but we're back. Alameda Research is a company that back in 2017 and before, they made millions, billions. They've made billions of dollars in the crypto space, mostly with trading. So this is a trading a hedge fund, a crypto hedge fund, basically. They're legendary. They've done some amazing things. Sam Bankman-Fried, this guy, SBFL, pull him up again. You guys probably have seen him before, maybe not on Twitter, but you might have even seen him if you don't know of crypto, outside of it. He's been on the news, he's been lobbying. Where is he at? Sam Bankman-Fried. This guy. So he initially created Alameda Research, which Alameda Research, the money there was used to create FTX. Now, the other crazy thing is most of that money was also used to create Solana, and here I am, Solana fanboy. My Solana fanboy energy has trickled down a little bit, but I'm still there, but we'll get into that. So basically what happened is CZ, the owner of Binance, heard that he basically just tweeted. He just said, this was 4 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. I'm gonna try to find it. But he basically said that he thinks that FTT, here we go. This is it. As part of Binance's exit from FTX equity, so they had equity in FTX, Binance received 2.1 billion USD and BUSD and FTT. Due to recent revelations, we decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. FTT is FTX's coin. So just like BNB is Binance's coin. For those of you on here who aren't like super familiar with crypto, what does that mean? That means it's their stock. It's like, I wouldn't call it necessarily a stock, but that's the easiest way to say it. So it represents, in a way, their company, and they'll use this coin for funding. That's why I call it almost like a stock of their company, even though it's not really that necessarily. They'll use it for funding. They'll use it for many different things. And so they started to liquidate. Now, right after he posted this thread, oh, I missed it. He basically posted that there was a transfer, right here, of $584 million of FTT that they were transferring. They were going to liquidate basically $500 million. Now, the price of it was something like $22 or $23. There's more drama to it, as there's this girl, Caroline. I'm going to try to find her. Doesn't matter. There's this girl that works for the Alameda Research, right? The trading fund, who initially created FTX, and they funded Solana. She basically tweeted at CZ, since you're going to, instead of liquidating it and causing a big fall in the market, why don't you reach out to us and we'll buy it right here, right now at $22. She tweeted that to him. And in hindsight, let's look at what the price is of FTT now. So she made this bold claim of like, basically, we have lots of cash, but they were lying. They were trying to hold the front that everything was fine. You can see FTT now is at $3.91, down from what, just yesterday is when it really crashed. Two days ago, it was up at $22. That's when she made that tweet, and I thought, for sure after she tweeted that. I was so confident because I really fell for this guy because of how much money he was putting into lobbying in the US. I just thought for sure he had some big money behind him. And so if he's got big money behind him, he's going to put it into it buys at 22, loses everything, right? Yeah, so I really trusted him because I love Solana. I think Solana's awesome. And so I fell for it. And that's why I posted to the signal like, hey, I'm going to buy some FTT. Let's go back to the chart. I said right here, it was in this area. All right, guys, I think this is going to run up because they were really posting confidently and I really believed them. I thought that with their Solana money, with their FTX money and everything else, I'm like, oh, they'll be fine. But basically what happened is, to put it plainly, what insolvent means is, let's say they had 100,000 or 1 million people who all deposited money. They use that, instead of just allowing those people to trade that money on their platform like they should without touching it, they use those people's money to invest into other things. And so therefore, when people heard about this happening, a bank run happened. And a bank run basically means everyone started going to FTX to try to withdraw their money because they heard that maybe they don't have enough money on their books. And lo and behold, they allowed people to withdraw for a little while, but then they completely stopped. And so literally after they stopped, they'd been silent for like 6-7 hours. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, CZ tweeted. Actually, it wasn't CZ. It was, what's his name? Sam Bankman-Fried, the owner, the guy who started FTX, started Alameda, basically helped to fund almost all of Solana. Yesterday, he basically tweeted that Binance will be purchasing FTX. Let me find it. This afternoon, FTX asked us for help. There's significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding letter of intent, intending to fully acquire FTX. So Binance, the largest exchange in the world, is basically going to now be acquiring FTX, which is the third largest exchange in the world. I think Coinbase is number 2. Yeah, so this is crazy because there's so much more drama to it that if you're in crypto, if you're in the Twitter space, you can go do your research. But it's really interesting to look at. But basically, the main piece of drama I think that caused this is Sam got a little bit on his high horse. He got really cocky, basically. And what he'd been doing is he'd been just investing into politics, throwing so much money into politics in the US. He was lobbying. He really wanted to get on the side of the government, which I get. If you're in that space, you want to have all the support you can. So he even at one point said that he'll donate $1 billion to the presidential election of 2024 in Biden's favor. He got really cocky, and apparently he was using those connections and the money he was donating, and he was having people lobby politically against Binance. This is the drama. So because and CZ, the owner of Binance, or the CEO of Binance, found out that this guy Sam was basically working with regulators and giving in like all the inside information on what Binance was doing, how to create the regulations, to just basically just saying, hey, government, whatever you want, I'll do it. I'll be your little puppy. And CZ, the owner of Binance, found out about that. And people believe, I partially believe, that that's also the reason why he decided to sell $500 million of his FTT, which is the reason what that caused to do is cause the price to go way down. And so FTX was banking on the value of FTT being high. They were banking on that happening and saying, oh, well, we can cover all customers' funds because the value of FTT is high. Well, as soon as CZ came in and sold everything, that didn't stick around. And of course, all the problems came to light. So this is huge. This is powerful. If we look at, now let's look at this as a trader, okay? As a trader, this usually when the craziness happens, that's when you want to look for these purchases, right? Now, yesterday or 2 days ago, when I had posted in our Signal group, like, hey, it'd be a good one to buy. Like, I think this is going to do really well. Luckily I didn't go in as much as I had put aside to do, but I definitely, what I did go in on with is worth a lot less than what it was, worth a fourth of it. I'm gonna, with that stuff, I'm just holding it long term and we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna put any more in just because I don't know what this means, you know? I don't know if this means that FTX is gonna eventually not exist. I really don't know. But FTX is so big and they had such a huge client base, you know, and they have a lot of regulators on the side. Ricardo just said a tweet, said never lose. Two big lessons: never use a token you created as collateral. Number two, don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently. Have a large reserve. Binance has never used BNB for collateral and have never taken on debt. So, you know, back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this call, you know, I was mentioning Atlantis, which is the fund that we've been talking about in the background. We were moving forward kind of faster initially than I'd like, but I was okay with it. But now I really hit the brakes because I realized, you know, I personally have never managed $1 billion before, let alone Alameda Research was probably up there in the 50 to 100 billion for a little bit, for a short time. Sam Bankman-Fried had a net worth of like 30 or 40 billion pretty fast. And now, as of yesterday, he was up 30, 40 billion. He's, I guess, down to like a $900 million net worth, which, you know, it's a lot, but at the level he's at, he's hurting, I'm sure. And for Binance, FTX might be a great way to get into the US and all the regulations with a different name, just a thought. So yes, well, there's a big note. FTX and FTX US are completely different entities. So Binance would be owning FTX.com, which is the larger entity. It's worldwide, but FTX US is completely different. So I know Sam's like probably banking on that, you know, and FTX, because it's fully regulated, FTX US is fully regulated. They have to have the cash on the books and be able to actually prove it. And so they do have that, and that's still a big thing. And it's good because what he can do is, you know, in the short term, this sucks. But in the long term, he made a lot of celebrity appearance, you know, things. He sponsored baseball and a few other things with FTX. All that means is that FTX, he's just going to put it on FTX US and he's going to market FTX US to the max. The US economy alone will produce lots and lots of income for him. And he's doing it in the right way. So in the right way. I don't know about that. He's really focused and I know he'll make it happen. So what does this mean for me personally? This means that I'm just going to research. I've been in the background studying, reading books, and really pondering, being with myself, you know, what it takes if we want to run a large fund. Obviously, I want to do this in a way that's decentralized. It's really, really transparent. So yeah, I'm just really taking notes on all these things, mental notes. And so on that note, the initial thought was the Discord Atlantis, named it Atlantis because this is going to be also the community of Atlantis, the fund. And initially we're just going to build it as a trading abundance consciousness Discord. But yeah, we'll let it grow and flow as it needs. So really stoked, guys, about all this that's happening in the market because it sent Bitcoin, it sent everything lower. This was the catalyst. I already have been, if you know me, I've been talking about Bitcoin going lower for months and months, all year. And there's no sign of showing that it's going to slow down. I've been saying it. I did say last week though, like, hey, we could go what I said is, hey, we definitely could go up as we had been. But if we go up, it's just so that we can go down lower. That was like last week's live stream, I believe, specifically is when I really talked about that. But I have been, once again, if you guys have been here, present, listening, I have been saying lower. And it's because the charts have said it. The charts don't lie. And the charts will predict the fundamental stuff way before the fundamental stuff will happen. And so, yes, I did buy a little bit more. And and I honestly sold it when I saw this candlestick. I just, in my own mind, I didn't really make my crypto buys, my recent ones, more public, but I did buy a little more. And then the stuff that I bought, I sold as soon as I saw this candlestick, last week's candlestick. And it doesn't look like a bullish candle. And I'm really grateful I did. There's a lot of money that I transferred back to USD or USDT. Aside for that FTT buy that I did, I lost that out, but I was a small one. Most of my money is in USDT. I still have that around 15-ish, 15 now with the FTT money, probably like 17% of my money that I have ready for crypto to buy more, right? I have 17% is still actually in crypto, between 15 and 18%, I'm going to say. And I am going to keep it that way. I'm going to stick to what I've been saying for a long time now. And that's, I'm either going to buy higher or I'm going to buy lower. I'm definitely not going to buy right now. There's just no way. Because especially now with what's come to light. So for anyone that didn't, or that missed the beginning, definitely rewatch this. I'll post the recording in all the places. Just we're explaining why crypto's going down. And now we can look at, where do we actually expect it to go? That's the next thing. Where do we actually expect that crypto will go? And the main levels that I've been telling you, everyone, and talking about, first is going to be, I mean, where have we seen resistance in the past, right? And so the first level for me, I'm looking at between 12 and like 14K, because we had in 2019 in June, we had a little spike there. So we can say that specific high. We can go, because I'm looking at the weekly chart right now, I'm okay with looking at the exact top of the wicks. But I did a little bit. You can see I have a line under that. That's also at about 12,700. And I did that because we can see the little bit of support that was made here. So in this case, we're making a little bit of a range. So for me, the first actual level that I see out of, at all, actually, I see one more potential level that I'll draw out right now. First potential level I see is this 16,000, but it's so weak. And the reason I see this is because you can see on the way up, we had a little wick here of a retest. And then you can also see in 2020, I'm sorry, 2017, 2018, we had a little top here. You can see, we can, like the candle bodies, this wick here, it was a resistance level. So I'll draw that just to see it, but I don't see that as a strong level. I really think that 13 to 14K is good. I will definitely buy some there. However, so I have buys that are set. When those buys hit, those buys are at, honestly, about 13,500, actually exactly at 13,500. And when those buys hit, I'm going to really, it's an alert I have that I'll go in. I'm going to see the price action. But when those buys hit, then it'll probably be about 30% of all my crypto money that I'll have put in. And then I'm still going to just wait to see what happens, because there's there's a possibility that we could see crypto go all the way down to lows that it's seen before, 4,000, or Bitcoin specifically. Now I'm looking at Bitcoin, but just know everything else is going to follow, like Ethereum is down more than Bitcoin is. Like you can even go to XRP is down. Saber's really down. Saber's been down though. A lot of stuff. Solana's down 35%. Wow. Solana's tanking right now. Amazing. So look out below. Some of my long-term holdings, I'd get sick if I looked at them. I'm just kidding. That's attachment. But I'm okay with waiting long-term. So with crypto, what I would say is being aware right now, like just watching, there's going to be sometime we're going to hit some bottom. And I don't know when or where that will be, but just know that most of these coins will see new all-time highs. I do believe Solana specifically, I'm very confident. It could take a lot longer than I thought now because of the thing that happened yesterday, because a lot of people are not going to trust Sam anymore. And so he's going to have to really rebuild that up. And we'll see if it can come back. But Solana itself, you have Google running a Solana node. Google's also running a BNB node. And so there's a lot of people that are really bringing this to the light. So Alan just posted a tweet. Let's check it out. Justin, crypto.com suspends USDT and USDC deposits and withdrawals on the Solana chain. I wonder why that is. But crypto.com is kind of a joke too. Like, I don't know. I just think everyone that really like loves their government daddy, like these companies really suck up to them. When crypto, the heart of crypto is freedom, you know? And yeah, so I wouldn't. It's interesting that they stopped that. I don't know why. When was that? 10:33. That was just 30 minutes ago. Yeah, I don't know. Something happened. The market knows something, you know. So somebody's dumping, and if you know what that means to me, oh, if they halted, that's not something that I would worry about Solana. That would be something I'd worry about crypto.com. That would mean that maybe they also don't have the funds that they say that they do. So just know everyone's going to get tested, and this catalyst is it's powerful. Oh, there's a meme I want to show you guys that I forgot to show you to summarize what the situation. Thank you, Angelo, for this. This is a good summary of the situation of Binance and FTX. If you guys want to check it out. And in FTX kissing in Binance kissing the feet of FTX. FTX kissing the feet of Binance. I just thought that was funny. This, by the way, guys, is a really good account to follow if you're on Twitter for crypto. Angelo has been in the crypto space for a long time, and his calls always hit. Yeah, next year it does look really good if we can. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the way I see it. One more. Okay. Excuse me. Here's the way I see it in crypto. Thank you. Blessings are reflected. I believe that if we can really capitulate fast, what I mean is go down hard and fast. If we can in the next like couple months, if Bitcoin can get down to like 13,000 or lower, then I truly believe, yeah, next year we could totally have a good bull run. If it's moving slow, like it kind of has been, like this could be a catalyst for it to really move fast. If it keeps moving slow like this, then I could, I'd say maybe 2024 could be. But you can't deny right now, I will tell you, if you don't want to watch the markets all the time as a trader, you don't need to. Okay, just every time you look at the charts, when you feel it, buy more. Just buy some, especially when it's down, and just be willing to hold for 3 years. As long as you're willing to hold for 3 years, in all the crypto you buy, you're going to be in a good place. I would say 5 years, honestly, but 3 years is usually the cycle time. So we're good. But even if you bought now and it went down to 9,000, I firmly believe that Bitcoin will go to $1 million, especially $4 million one day. Would not be crazy. I've done the math for it. So my biggest takeaway, by the way, with everything in this, with crypto and everything, my two biggest takeaways right now are something I've always known, not always known, something I've known for a little while, is never hold your crypto on an exchange, period. Always have a wallet where you're holding your crypto, okay? Like Exodus is a good wallet. Hardware, the hardware wallets aren't really for me. So I'm just gonna stick with the software wallets. They're much more safe. I don't know. I'm not gonna say much more, but there's just too much that can happen with a hardware wallet, and I'm not really. I travel a lot, and it's not my thing. I don't have a safe that I can just like lock it in, and So, but on that note, make sure you're using not an exchange. That means Coinbase. That's an exchange, right? Especially something like Coinbase that's regulated by the U.S. U.S. government could any day say like, all right, no, this crypto shit, freeze it all, and you don't get access to your money, and that's not what we want. So, my biggest takeaway is don't hold it on an exchange. Number one. Number two, Bitcoin is king. When it comes to the best crypto that you could ever put your money into, it's Bitcoin. When it comes to the most proven, the most free, the most sovereign currency out there in the entire world, it's Bitcoin. What's the currency that's never been hacked, that's never had downtime? It's Bitcoin. What's the blockchain that's never frozen? That's never had any problems? Bitcoin. What's the blockchain that is the first blockchain ever? Obviously, Bitcoin. There are reasons for these other blockchains and different use cases and things. Although I do, you can build anything and everything on Bitcoin, anything that's in crypto, cloud storage, hosting online, all that can be done on Bitcoin. I do think though things like Ethereum and stuff, just they're built for a different reason, and there's definitely a lot of use case for that. So, and I do believe Solana still, there's when it comes to gaming and a bunch of other stuff, there's a lot of things that these coins will provide. They will get really big. But if you want the most secure investment, more than just the financial investment, but actual like security in your future, Bitcoin. You just have to ignore the dollar amount sometimes, because the thing is, the challenge with most people that get into Bitcoin is they still compare their dollar amount instead of comparing their dollars to Bitcoins. Oh, how many? Yeah, never mind. Don't want to do. You just when we're trying to make US dollars, when we stop trying to make US dollars, right, and when we start to focus on how can I make more Bitcoin, it's going to be a big shift, big change. What software wallets do you like? I'm having very weird problems with Ledger. I don't like it. Yeah, Exodus is my favorite. I would use Exodus wallet for sure. Yeah, it's the best interface. It's the best. I've never had problems with it. Yeah. I just got a text. People are trying to tell me like, yo, did you see what's happening to crypto? I'm like, yeah, we've been following the whole time. Yeah, so Exodus they constantly have updates. You do hold your keys. Oh, what? Hold on. My camera. 1 second. Bing. There we go. Yeah. What else would I use? I do have, let me see. Trust Wallet is good as well. I don't have as much there. I do have Phantom Wallet for Solana stuff. I hold my Solana NFTs and all that. And some Solana coins, but I don't have much there. Like I have my long-term holdings are in some in Exodus and also in this wallet that I'll share how I made it later on. I'm not going to share it right now. I made a really super secret wallet and tried to make it really hard for me to get into as well. Well, that's another day. Anyway, yeah, so stay safe. The key to succeeding as a trader is, in crypto, I should say, buy when it's down, definitely. The challenge is just realize also that just because it's down doesn't mean that it can't go down lower. So just know that. Play it safe and make sure, especially in crypto, that you're using money that you can afford to lose, and money that you're willing to not have or touch for at least 5 years. And if you're in any crypto right now, as long as it has a strong use case, even if you're in Solana heavy like me, and I'm in stuff like Serum, I'm in stuff like Saber, like I'm down, but everything I'm down on, I'm not selling. I'm going to wait till the next bull run and I will see what hits. And I realize that some of these coins, like maybe Saber will die. I hope not. I don't think Serum or Solana, I'm very confident Solana will not. Serum also does so much for the Solana chain. So if Solana succeeds, Serum will succeed. And yeah, a couple others. Just once again, be willing to hold long term. And also, if you bought higher and you're down on things, as long as they have a strong use case and you are very sure about it, as long as that's the case, then buy more, period. But once again, use money that you can't You have no problem if you lost it, and you're okay with not touching it. And don't touch it until it's in profit. But you have to make sure that the coin has a use case. What's the number one most guaranteed investment in crypto? Bitcoin. And it is 1111. Yes, thank you, Ricardo. So your most secure investment. What's the second most secure? I honestly would say Ethereum in crypto for sure. And notice how as soon as it was 1111, I said, what's the most secure investment? Bitcoin. So there you go. Bitcoin, you can go to countries like Guatemala. This is one place. Earlier I said I might be moving. I don't think I'm moving to the Caribbean islands. I'm going there for banking reasons, probably. But one place that I could potentially move, I will definitely have a place in, is Guatemala. I'm just when the time is right, when it feels right. But Lake Atitlan is a beautiful place, and it's nicknamed Bitcoin Lake. You can go to the local shops there. Almost all the locals, like those of you that have been to Mexico or been to any country in Latin America, and honestly any country really, imagine all the little side shops where normally they would only accept cash, and it's locals, like in Lake Atitlan, it's the Mayans. Most of them have little signs that say we accept Bitcoin. So you can do that. And they're able to get the value out of it for themselves. So there's other places like El Salvador where it's a national currency. Literally, I don't eat McDonald's at all. I never would ever again the rest of my life. I haven't done that for over 10 years. And but you can, if you wanted to go to McDonald's and get food, you can use Bitcoin. Like it's that prevalent. So I am choosing to, instead of focus on, ways to run away, like I kind of have been, like, how can I get away from this big government thing that's just this gang, right? This cartel that's just gotten out of hand, this government cartel. And it's just go to the places that are more in line with the future that I'm looking to create, the life that I'm looking to live. And crypto and Bitcoin represent that freedom, freedom of money. And so I'm going to go to those places and put my time and energy and money into those places. So yeah, I'm looking around. I still want to always have a place here in Tulum, and if I make a move, it's not going to be right away, or we're doing it slow. But either way, I'm still here, and I still love this place. And Mexico is one of the most free places ever. And of the other places I'm looking to maybe move, we're also looking in Mexico, but also just looking deeper in the jungle. Like it's really nice. But yeah, I will say though, when it comes to the U.S., my U.S. passport is good for 5 more years. My intention is to, I don't know, I might keep it just for the benefits, but not make sure that's not my only passport by that time. So it's plenty of time. Okay. Anyways, let's bring it back to charts and money. I want to go over a few charts because I'm flowing, and we can go over to the Forex side of things. I haven't been trading. To be honest, guys, with myself, I've been focusing on just the coaching calls that I have, and I haven't been marketing a ton. I stopped all my ads for the Ascended Trader for coaching. I've dialed everything down by a lot. I'm just looking. I had a pen explode. I just want to make sure I didn't touch my face, but it's all in my hand. Anyways, I've dialed things down a lot because I went really hard in the coaching space over the last year, and I'm really grateful because we've built a bit of a community that we have. And I've also learned a lot about how we can really actually make it consistent, keep people going. And so a big change that I'm doing is focusing more on the community, where I had been focusing a lot more one-on-one. But those of you that are here, of course, if we have one-on-ones and all that, all you got to do is just schedule with me. If I'm bad with texting you back or getting back to you, it is what it is. I'm getting as good as I can, but the key is if you have the link to schedule a call with me, just do that, right? Just schedule a call. I'll always be present for those calls. But yeah, I'm been kind of, because I put a lot of energy out, in a lot of ways. There's other parts of my life that had nothing to do with, I don't like to call it work, but I'm just saying my professional side of my life, because I really love trading. I really love coaching. I'm grateful I'm in this place that I get to do something I love and that I really think I feel and know and see makes an impact. So that's great. So it's not really work as much for me. However, what I did do is I allowed myself to go out of balance, and I was putting nearly all my energy into that. And some other things had come up in my private life, and I realized that when they had come up, I didn't have the full space to support them that I should have. And so that really affected me a lot, you know, and that's why I've kind of been even more quiet, and I'm showing up to the group things and the things that I'll commit, but I'm really just um, respecting my energy. And I'm very much so like I'm a doer, you know, at heart. I like to just like, let's do, you know, let's create, let's make this video, let's talk to these people, let's make these calls, you know. I'm just like um and so I do have this thing in my mind, because I'm really like forcing myself to like do a lot less as much as I can right lately. And I've cut some of the other businesses that I was putting energy to. I've cut a bunch of those off too. And anyway, so bear with me. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I know it's going to get better and better. My vision hasn't changed. I've again raised the prices now for my one-on-one coaching. And so I'm really telling people, like, you know, I'm not really taking on new clients right now. There are a couple people though that are assisting with coaching, and I will probably in the next week start to bring some ads back. But just to grow the group coaching aspect of the Ascended Trader. And for those that are really interested in one-on-one, I'm going to get some help with some of you in the community that have expressed. I know you probably aren't on this call, but I know you might watch the recording. But some of you that have been trading for a while have seen some profitability consistently, and you know, have even coached a little bit already. So we'll work it. My full intentions, I have the full vision of just like taking it slow, you know, and not forcing it as much. I get really obsessive with things, especially when I have a vision, and it's like laser focus, laser vision. And now I realize that as good as that is, and as awesome as it is, it's imbalanced. And if I have imbalance and things come up in my life and I can't handle them, then everything will fall apart. And I want to build consistently, and I want to build a strong base in my personal life. And then, of course, by having that strong foundation, I'm going to be able to grow and expand in myself to heights that I never expected, which will allow us as a community to also not just me, but by living it and being it and embodying it, you know. Another big thing that I haven't been doing nearly as much as I'd like to be is trading, which is the heart of everything I talk about and teach. And so it's like, I feel the personal need. I know what I'm able to do. And I just have been banking on, I know what I've done and what I can do. And just in the last 6-7 months, I really haven't been trading as much as I want. So I really want to get back to that as well. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the charts. I just wanted to express where I'm at. The conclusion of that is, if we have one-on-one coaching, just schedule a call with me. If I'm not showing up to text or sometimes, that's okay. Just schedule a call with me. I'll be there. And yeah, fun. Let's look at a few things. I'm going to start immediately on the daily on Forex charts, because I'm not going to go like super in depth unless I actually see a trade. You know, I'm not even going to waste my time, and unless I see a setup on the daily. So, okay, right away, British pound, Japanese yen. I see that we kind of been going sideways. We broke down really strong, tested that bottom side liquidity. We went up, made a new high, and now we're back below what is this potential support level. Now, since we broke this recent resistance level, we thought it could potentially be a support level, but we just touched it and bounced off. Since we aren't above that, or since we broke above that, I mean, just for a moment, we have to think that it's, you know, probably more likely, since we just made a new higher high, that we go up. But also down here, we had this strong downside test of liquidity. You know, the market moved down really strong, and we technically made new lows compared to some of these lows here, but we held this green support level. So I would say right now off the bat, what caused me to maybe go more in depth is the fact that we've come down. We broke below that, what was resistance line, potentially could have been support, right? And then we just retested it, and now we're going lower. However, it's not really strong bearish price action. So I'm just going to go to the 4-hour and see what that looks like. And yeah, honestly, I would say on the short term, this looks more like a downside movement, like it could continue down. And the reason why is, you know, here you can see we came up, we had this little downside movement, that test of liquidity, right? We bounced up, made a new high. And when we came down this time, candle bodies here close below these candle bodies. To me, especially on the 4-hour, I count that as a new low. And then not only that, but we retested what should have been a potential support level, right? We broke down below it. We retested it as resistance again. Look at the last couple times we tested it as resistance. So we just potentially made, or technically made a new lower low here. And we came up, retested this, what potentially was supposed to be support back, before. We retested this level as resistance and we're moving down. I would say I wouldn't want to get into a sell right now, but what I would say is if we start to potentially break this bottom, then it could be a good sell to look out for the next low if the price action says. And the reason why I'm like, don't get in one right now is because we did just move down, and this little doji here, I wouldn't count it as a reversal candle, but what I would say is it's right at the beginning of what is the movement that's above the moving average. So we kind of saw support here. Now, although this current candle we broken below, it's still got an hour and a half left to print, so we can't make any decisions. And on top of that, even if it were to close right now how it is, that's showing that there's some downside support. And so it's really common to test, a high before a breakout. And this isn't like a strong trend, but you can see that this is a little bit of a trend line. And so this is a little bit of a breakout. And so this would be like the high before the breakout. So if we're going to move up higher, it's really common that we retest the area that we're in right now. Really, really common. So I like to see, when I see that this is happening, even though I'm more interested in a sell right now, I just want to see what happens. If we stay above really this, then of course we're going to go up. And especially if we start to get even close to this orange line here, then I'm going to expect it'll go down lower. And I have the bias that the downside is more likely to happen. I have that bias because we made a new lower low, right? As compared. So following. Okay, so for me, this is a no trade zone right now. What I would do is, if I wanted to pay close attention just to see what was happening, I'd put an alert right above this current candle that's printing in case it starts to pump. And I'd also put an alert below this green box just in case we start to go down. And so I have the alert here. How do you do an alert in TradingView? If you just hover, you have the crosshairs. If you don't have crosshairs, go to your top left here. You can click the crosshairs, right? And then wherever you have your crosshairs, you can see this little plus sign on where it's showing you the price. You simply just click the plus and you add it how you want. And you can also right click once you've made one. You can edit it. You can change how it notifies you. You can have it send you an email. I have it just tell me in my app, like I get a push notification from my TradingView app. And then you can also move the notification, of course. So, yep. And then I move on. And I go back out to the daily here. US dollar seems to finally want to retrace. Maybe the retracement already happened. So we're on the daily. We moved down here on USD JPY. I know I have a whole lot of lines. Let me keep them actually. I was about to remove them, but I'm going to keep them. But that's okay. I can see them. I'm just looking at each level and I can compare that where we're at now. We can see very clearly that was a support level. We can also see very clearly that the last candle, yesterday's daily, closed very strong body below the previous low, below the previous candle body. So technically we have made a new lower low. So I would anticipate more downside. Now we're right at the Bollinger Band. So in this case, I want to go out to the weekly to see how far could we go. So we have the support level here, but based off the daily, it's looking like this may not hold. So the next level that I have, honestly, is going to be where in this area where this strong, you can see this Darth Maul candle. I would say in the bottom wick of that, because we're currently kind of testing that top wick. And we're saying that potentially this wouldn't hold. So we would anticipate the next level that we saw support. And that's kind of the area that shows support. I wouldn't say all the way at the bottom of the wick, but we can also see that there was some resistance here. So that also, interestingly enough, coincides with the moving average. So it could be potentially on the weekly here that we're coming to retest the moving average. Ricardo's saying to check the DXY. So let's look at the dollar index. So this will tell us what it's going to do no matter what the currency. Beautiful multi-week month. Let's check the monthly. Yeah, look at that. The monthly's got to come down. What goes up must come down. And wow. Yeah. And he said there's an ascending wedge. Yeah, we can see that. Let's go to the weekly chart. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. One like this, maybe. And it looks like it's breaking. I see kind of like a channel, but it is also a bit of a wedge. I don't know if this is the same thing that you're looking at, but definitely breaking. We can also see that this candle yesterday, that's a strong reversal candle. If you so after we seen wick, and I don't mean reversal as in the short trend, because we've gone down 2 candles, because we see this doji on a weekly. What I'm looking at is the high of the candle bodies and just the high in general. So you can see we hit this resistance here, and then the candle bodies. Notice that this came up, touched the top of the candle bodies, and then now we seem to be heading down. I wouldn't get in a sell at this moment. This is based off the dollar, because this is a strong level where we have seen support, but very clearly looks like it's being broken. So on the daily, it's already been broken and retested. So there you go, boys and girls. What I would say though is this is a potential candle. Like if we're seeing, we haven't broken the previous low, but look at how strong that first candle is, right? Very, very likely to go down. So we can look at the dollar, and yeah, we got a long ways to go. So that tells us that against any currency right now, the dollar may go down. So I was initially hoping for the euro. I just switched charts for the euro versus the US dollar. I was intending for like 92 cents. I was like, all right, let's do that last push. I know we've been going down forever, but I was really hoping to push that because we were seeing that strong resistance at a dollar. But now we're above it. And based off the dollar, the currency index of the dollar doesn't look so hot, which is crazy because they raise interest rates, so should make the dollar stronger. So that's why in this case, like we can very clearly see it, look at every time we've gone up, we're on a monthly chart. Look how many candles we went up on this uptrend in a monthly chart. And every time we've done that, what's happened after. This one wasn't as long and strong, but we went sideways for a while. We went sideways for, wow, like 4 years, basically. So crazy things. We have done a stronger run though in the past. So there's also that. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. So I think a peak like this, like look at this is kind of what it looks like, could just be a retest for us to go higher. You can look at any other peak. The data wasn't as clear back in the 80s, what we're looking at now. But this peak here, look how low we went after that. So this is just, once again, guys, this is just a currency index. This will tell you the relative strength. Like, is the dollar going to go up or going to go down, right? If it's going up, that means the dollar's strong. If it's going down, the dollar's weak. Very clearly have reversal signals. We have some potential continuation, strong wicks, strong doji on the monthly chart. And so we could just start to look at some potential support areas. And it looks like this 103 area is strong support. So I think that if we go down based off the monthly chart, I would expect we probably don't go lower than that. Especially we're looking at monthly, like those lines pretty strong, pretty predictable. So yeah, we have this level now. That's really the strongest level, the next level on the monthly. But on the weekly here, we can draw a couple other levels. We could see support. And I'm literally just drawing where support and resistance was in the past. Okay. So yeah, that's what it looked like. So we could watch that, look at the small time frame. We just went to the 4-hour. We made a new low as well. We're now coming up to retest. So let's see if the downside continues, then we can just basically look at every other currency against the US dollar and look for sells. So British pound, US dollar, honestly, on the daily looks like it wants to head down as well. That looks really, really good. We also kind of have this wedge. Yeah, this wedge that was forming. Ascending wedge, ascending triangles usually lead to downside. We broke it, came back, we retested it, we're moving down. This is a really good sell. I honestly might even make this based on a daily chart if the weekly and everything lines up. But this is so good that I'm going to actually draw it. Stop loss here. So let me tell you, when I'm looking at my take profit, right? Stop loss is above the highs. My take profit is going to be first I'm looking at, okay, where's the previous levels that it touched? And we obviously have this one. But here's why my take profit isn't just going to be right there, because we just tested that. If we tested that and that was actually support, we would have made a new high. We just tested it and we're making a new high, lower high, right? So we also saw the support here. So obviously I'm going to go for the next level, which is down here, but I would actually anticipate much larger. I'm going to look at the weekly once again, but this trade already looks good. If you were to only look at the daily, this is a good risk to reward. This is a good trade to make. It looks really good. Even without today's daily closing, you might want to wait, but you don't have to. 4 hours already headed down a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of support. I meant to go to the weekly though. Why did I go to the 4 hour? Wow, weekly, look at that. Weekly, very clear, clean test of the moving average there. She's going down, Captain. I think that this will go. I would be comfortable with this candle body, like having my take profit there and like literally leaving it, not touching it. This is the weekly chart. So having my take profit at that, oops, close it out. What's that? 107, 107.7, 107.8 level. However, realizing that on the long term, right, on the weekly chart, we did just see support. But if we literally just made a lower high, well, that means we're probably going to make a lower low. So we can try to draw a little bit of a trend line, but I would probably just want to leave it at this and just see what happens. Let's look at the monthly. See, monthly, we're way down there. And so monthly, we could continue down, but monthly doesn't line up with the weekly daily, but it's looking good. Okay. Am I going to enter? Now I'm going to go to the low time frames to ask. And right off the bat, the 4 hour says no. 1 hour also says wait. Because we're 4 hour, we have an hour and a half left, but we're seeing some support. And 1 hour, we're getting some reversal signs. We just got a little bit of a doji, right? Almost inverted hammer kind of doji with that strong wick at the top after a downward movement. Plus right now, this current candle is showing a little volume. So we'll see. But yeah, this trade right now, if we were to make it, it's a 2.1 risk to reward ratio. And so what I would say is I'll probably, I could set an alert. If we come up, I'm going to set my alert based off the hourly because I want to watch this one close, because on the daily and the weekly, it looks like a good entry right now, right? Why do you wait to go in and out? I wait to go in and out of trades because I want to find a better entry, right? If I can get a better average sale price. So let me tell you, on this 1 hour, it looks like we're slowing down to the downside. And so that means that we could come back up and just make it a little bit of a high, right? So let's say it comes up here, right? My entry, if I can catch it while it's here and my entry is up here, that turns my trade into a 3.3 risk to reward ratio, right? And so that makes it so that I can risk less to make more, or risk more. No, not risk more. I can put more in the trade and still be risking less, so that my trade, my win will be larger, right? So if you are someone who can't look at charts all the time, and when I say all the time, if you can't look at charts for at least, like if I wouldn't be able to look at charts for 24 hours, which I'll probably be able to later today, then I would maybe just enter this trade and just wait. But it's so much better if I can get, like right now, weekly and daily are in alignment. 4 hours says it could go down, but just maybe wait, right? 1 hour says definitely wait a little bit, right? So what if I can get in where it's like weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour says get the freak in right now? That's like a golden trade. And when they're all lined up like that, like the likelihood of winning the trade is like 95% in my case, right? And I mean, for anyone, I think if it all lines up, it's right. It's good. So that's why we wait. And I will say when it comes to getting out of trades, I don't wait as much. Okay. So if I entered, let's say I did enter this trade based off of daily, weekly, and let's say it went into profit, I look at tomorrow and I'm one candlestick in profit, feeling good. If on the 1 hour, if there's any type of candlestick that says even remotely, hey, this could stop moving, right? While I'm in profit, hey, this could turn around, I'll close it liberally. I shared this with a couple people, but I made something like so far this year, something like 70, like 75-ish, maybe 74 trades. I got to look at the exact number again because there's a few others that I haven't added. And out of all of those, there's something like over 50 that were winning trades. And out of those over 50 winning trades, you want to know how many actually hit my take profit? 4. 4. So that means every other winning trade I closed manually. You see the magic there? That was a big difference between winning and losing consistently, like money, actually making consistent money for me. When I got really good at like, oh, I'm up, thank you, in like looking at it, right? If I'm like at break even and it's like there's reversal, I'll wait it out sometimes, but you can always re-enter, And so I made it really, really good. And on top of that, let's go back. So the other like 25-ish trades, could be maybe 26. I gotta look, that were losers. And okay, also I have to say, I think of the winners, some of them might have been like I won a penny, it was like basically break even. So that's also in those numbers, but I closed manually and it wasn't a loss. But of the trades that were actually losers, there was something like 5 or 6 that actually hit my stop loss. The others also same thing, mostly I closed manually. Okay. I see a sign, I'm like, oh, get out. Does that mean that I've missed out on some? Oh yeah. I missed out on a lot of trades, but there's always another trade. So why does it matter if I missed out on something? What's the end goal in trading, and especially like watching the account, the end goal is to keep your account moving up, right? The equity moving up. And so if it's not moving up, right, you got to ask yourself, is there trade? If it's not moving up, have there been any trades that I made where I was in profit, but then I left it and I went back and my stop loss was hit? Okay, right there. Those, if you could just take the profit and close those trades when you saw them when they were in profit, how much further ahead would your account be, right? So I think if you stay looking at the chart for the next 30 to 60 minutes, you'll find perfect entry or a hint to stay out of it. Yes. Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Alan. Yes, 100%. So GBP USD, I have an alert to the upside. I'll put an alert to the downside as well, and then we'll move forward. So that one was the best looking one so far. But anyways, yeah. So I was just going in on Jovan. I hope I'm saying your name right, Jovan. Maybe it's Jovan, but just correct me. But yeah, Jovan, by being calculated, right? And all of this is a good way to do all of life, right? Is to do it calculated and to wait, even if you're like, oh no, do make it happen. There's a lot of power in doing. I've seen a lot of success in doing, but there's a lot more power in strategically doing, so not doing without purpose. So appreciate what you're doing. Love the sharing, the sacred knowledge, wisdom, and blessings. Thank you. It's reflected on every week. So come back next Wednesday. We'll be here. And more times, hopefully starting later this week, next week. We should be maybe 3 to 4 live streams a week, just getting clear with a few others. So not just me, it's gonna be others too. I'm gonna be continuing with the one and then the other group coaching call I do on Saturdays. But yes, so yeah, being patient, being calculated. Blessings, just started with trading this week. So far, I'm happy with the results. Nice, amazing. Yeah, so stay consistent. Jovan, the best thing I could say, the best wisdom that if I wish I was given in the beginning of when I got into trading is that mindset is way more important than your technique. That your subconscious programming, your belief systems around money and around yourself are way more important than your trading technique. Although it does take time and study to really get the charts down where you can, just like surfing, right? If you want, what's the goal of surfing? It's to ride a wave, right? That's it. What's the goal of trading? It's to ride a wave. It's the same thing. But how do you get to the point where you can just ride a wave? You have to learn to paddle. You have to learn to push yourself up on the surfboard. You have to learn to balance on the board, right? You have to learn what a good wave even looks like, right? You have to know when should I actually try to paddle? And how do I make sure I'm taking the right wave so I don't run out of energy, so I actually can make sure I'm riding the right ones, right? And then when I'm up on my board, how do I stay up? How do I arrive? How do I get more speed? How do I slow down, right? All these things you have to learn how to do. But once you know how to do them, you're in pure flow. that's it. If you ever watch some of the craziest surfer, I love watching surfing on online videos, like these surfing competitions where they're doing like 30, 50, like seems like 100-foot waves, probably crazy. They're in pure flow. They're completely in the moment, but they've been doing it. So that's with trading as well. You got to put the time and effort in, but it doesn't matter how good your technique is. If you're not focusing on your mindset, it ain't gonna happen for you. The other thing too is I've been trading now for nearly 7 years, getting pretty close. And the biggest it took me about just over 2.5 years to like actually be profitable, where I was actually being able to put money away. And now I've been coaching for just over 2 years. So yeah, it's been really fun. I've been able to get a lot of people in my mentorship to being profitable in like 3 to 4 months. But then after that, it's mindset a lot of times. I've had people see it faster. So I have a whole system with trading that we do step by step. We go super in depth. My one-on-one coaching is a bit expensive, but I have group coaching that's affordable. The benefit is you'll have more access to community like this, but more often. And you have someone showing you like every step of the way, like do this, don't do this. And so you can fast track your results. Everyone can learn trading on their own, but if you want to learn it fast, just as in anything else, get someone who's done it. So yeah, if you have questions about what I do, what I teach, hit me up. I'll be doing it forever. I love it. So yeah. And don't get caught up in like trying a million different things. That's another thing I would say. Stick to one thing. That's another thing I did that held me back, is because I wasn't going within my mindset. I kept trying all these different techniques. Oh, maybe if I change this technique, I'll be profitable. Maybe if I change this technique, I'll be profitable. Maybe if I try this one. And in reality, it was I didn't have a strong self-worth. I didn't value myself enough to go into my limiting beliefs and to actually succeed in trading. I was self-sabotaging for a while. And so a lot of people tend to do that. And they blame the charts, they blame the analysis. But no, it's your mindset. So, and also look at how much you believe is a lot and not a lot. That's a big thing too. I used to think $1 million was a lot of money. You really get into it in this world, you can't do much with that. Give you space to go stay on an island for a little bit, to think. But if you actually want to accomplish things in this world, $1 million aren't going to do anything for you. So, looking at that, I used to think $100,000 was a lot of money. Boy, was I wrong. So just start to realize and look at like what do I believe is a lot, not a lot. Just having that mindset, if you think 100,000 is a lot of money, then you're adding resistance to it. It's just saying, oh, it's a lot, right? And so if it's a lot, right, it's hard to get, right? And if it's a lot and it's hard to get, well, then it's gonna avoid me, right? So, but if we just know, if you can look at 100,000 like you look at 1,000, right, or even $1, it's just like, oh, it comes in and out of my life without thinking, right? It's a different consciousness. You attract a different energy to you. So, okay, lots of tangents. You know how I do, guys. I appreciate the questions though, because every time I get asked a question, it allows us to go deeper. And that's why I do these tangents, because when it comes to ideas and belief systems, that's kind of how they're built, is we have to go into all the little details of something to really shift and change a belief. And so if we can like come at and look at every idea from every point of view, we can really create awesome belief systems for ourselves and think of things in a way that we hadn't before. So continuing on, looking at gold. Gold looks very bullish. Looking at the weekly, we just saw strong support. We got 2 strong weekly candles now, but we are at a potential resistance level for multiple reasons. Moving average, number 1. Number 2, we saw support previously and resistance previously in this area, right? We could draw a little box. So just knowing that this is a level where we could see some reaction. If we go to the daily here, notice how on this, the last daily yesterday, we had strong movement. In this one, we've been just staying still. So this is a doji. We have 5 hours left, but we can already anticipate that it might not break out, not today. So this is not something we want to enter. We also wouldn't want to get into a sell because we just pumped really strong. With everything going on, I wouldn't want to really get into a sell right now. See also on the monthly here, we had a strong reversal. We had an inverted hammer. So if you wanted to enter off the monthly, it's a strong bottom sign. We could probably go up at least to the moving average. Also knowing though on the monthly, we did kind of make a new lower low, right? So just knowing that, there are gold shenanigans. So yeah, for this one, it's a no trade zone for me, basically. I want to either see us come down a little bit to then enter to go higher, or if we go up and then get support, right? We go up, break up, and then come down, and then support. Then I'll get in. So it's gold and silver do the same things for sure. British pound, Australian dollar. This looks like a potential sell. Looks like a pretty good sell. The weekly, wow, monthly, maybe. Short position, boom. Let's just kind of draw it out. It's on the daily. Came down, we tested the bottom band, came up, and we're resisting already. So I don't know. We're not strong enough to get into a sell for me. I gotta be honest. I'm just seeing what it would look like. Because we had this new high, basically we broke down and then we broke up. It's like sideways action for me. So trying to create liquidity before a move. If we look at the monthly, we saw strong support. So that to me on the monthly looks like a bottom. We came up, we tested the moving average. We're now coming down. I think just kind of getting some more liquidity. To me, based off of the monthly chart, it looks like it's going to go up. Weekly chart's coming down a little bit, right? But we may see support in this area. We want to see support in this area. We want it to start going up in this area where we're at right now, because this is the moving average. This is also where we really started to break out, right? Here's a resistance level. And then here's a strong candle where we broke above that resistance level. You can see we came down and we couldn't go above here. That's why it's resistance. So because we're now above this, and we're coming down again, we want to respect that candle that was the breakout. So we don't want to go lower than that area of the breakout. Otherwise, it wasn't a strong breakout and we can expect more downside, basically. Chafiel? Okay, last thing I want to share with you guys. I'm feeling pretty good on charts. I'm gonna watch that GBP USD trade is all. So I'm gonna stay focused on that. But I want you guys to really focus on and think about like what's really possible with trading when you're consistent. Just coming from a really realistic standpoint. So when I was scalping, there were times that, like my best I was able to hold for a while was, when I say a while, like 4 months, would average 12% return daily. That was scalping. That was really good. On that note, I was on a lot of caffeine, like energy drinks and stuff and pre-workout. And I did have a little bit of Adderall. I had an Adderall prescription, but I was like coming off of it. So not in the healthiest place. So I don't recommend that because I made a lot of money, but it took help from my health a lot. It took some time to recover from that. And although I do still drink coffee here and there now, and I'm not addicted like I used to be to caffeine. But anyways, I just want to show you what's possible. When I was doing that, that was 12% per day. It's pretty awesome. Let's tone it down to let's look at like a 2% return per day. If you were to stay consistent. I'm going to do this with both a large account and a small account. The larger the account, the less people tend to risk. But what's large? I still kind of risk max 5%, but usually average trade 2 to 3%. And if I'm risking 2 to 3%, I'm going for like between 4 to 6%, right? So, okay, let's just say, let's start off with like anyone that comes to me, and if they have less than $500,000 to their, in their portfolio, it doesn't have to be fully liquid. Then I would say, okay, I'm sorry, less than 100,000. If it's less than 100,000, then I would say start with like 5,000, something like that, just as an initial one. So if you have 5,000 ready, I'm going to do this for 5,000, and I'm also going to do this for lower amounts because I was coaching someone yesterday who had less. And bare minimum, if you had like, if you were kind of scrounging, what I want to say scrounging, if you're not in the strongest financial place, I would not trade if you don't have at least $1,500 that you can trade with. Like that's my bare minimum. I would not go lower. But I just want to show you what 5,000 looks like. If you were to average 2% per day, let's look over the course of 2 years. Trading like a robot, right? It comes to there's 22 trading days in a month. If you could stay consistent with that, after 1 year, you could compound that $5,000 account. It's like $400,000. Now, this is trading like a robot. This is 2% day in, day out. Sometimes you're going to do better, sometimes worse. But I'm telling you, like I was able to take the account when I did it 12% per day. That was an account I started off at, like it was actually at $1,500. And I did really good. And I was able to do a lot of things with that money. And so if you're to continuously compound, you could be at 30 million. There are people definitely doing that, but you have to be able to trade like a robot and almost have no balance and no fun. And that's also taking zero money out. You got to realize also, as you build it, you're going to take money out. So let's just do it even at a 24. Let's just look for fun at, even if you only had 1% return per day, so 22%. If you're consistent, you can turn $5,000 after 12 months into $54,000. That's easily an income you can live off of. If you can't live off of that, then you're living in the wrong place, period. Okay. So I'm just showing you guys, and after 2 years, that's still 591,000. So if you can stay consistent, you will have averaged almost 300,000 per year. We're lowballing, guys. I really do believe we're lowballing. And so this is definitely what you can see with trading if you are consistent. We're talking 1% return per day on a $5,000 account. Okay. And let's just do for fun on, if you had a $1,500 account, that's bare minimum. You could still turn that $1,500 account into 16 grand after a year. That's a great second income. And then after 2 years, $177,000. We're talking at 1% return per day. Okay. 1% return per day. That's not crazy. That's really lowballing. I'm going to do it at 2% per day, 1,500. You could compound up to 120 grand. And after 2 years, 10 million. That's trading once again like a robot. It's saying you have zero attachments to money. You have zero attachments to dollar amounts. That's saying you have zero emotion, right? There's a lot of factors that go into being human. But easily you could make an income that you could live off of. Like imagine, even if it took 6 to 8 months, right? Even if it took a couple years, you're going to be fine the rest of your life, but it shouldn't take that long, especially if you're working with the Ascended Trader. It shouldn't, and it won't. And if you're not currently profitable and you have seen profitability, you've seen your trading skills, you know that you have it, but you're not profitable, then it's 100% a mindset thing, period. So, and you're got to be putting the hours in, right? So anyways, that's the last thing I want to share with you guys, just to make it real, just to show you. Make sure we're having fun. And I'm thinking of doing something with trading. I don't know. Like what I mean is I might do some kind of like small account challenge just to like show people. But if I do, I want to make sure I'm in a focused place. So it'll probably be like early next year. So I'm thinking of that. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, just side thoughts. As for now, the live streams, these are every Wednesday, of course. Right now, for the moment, until we're getting the consistency with the others live streaming, it's going to stay open, these live streams. I know I sometimes give a lot of alpha, and I'm not going to be doing that as much. Usually I keep it a little more. Today I went deep on a few things. So I'm not going to do that as much until we launch it when it's paid. When we first launch it, it will only be $33. If you're in the mentorship and the coaching, you'll get access for free for at least an amount of time, for like at least 6 months. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, once everyone else is consistent, we'll do that. It will go up over time, but we're going to start at $33 and showing you everything. No one else knows about. You are part of the 1% of the world that knows about what's going on in crypto. The news isn't even going to get out for a little while. It's starting to. I'm going to make sure you stay up to date in that aspect as much as I can. And we're focused on getting better every time. So if there's something that you are interested in, that you're inspired by, and you love to contribute to, in the things that I am part of, and the things that we're creating in the group, in the live streams, or anything, of course, please reach out. Always open to seeing how we can make things better, make it the best. But I really like working with people who are inspired and want to do it because they want to do it. So we got it. Okay, guys, appreciate the love, and we'll talk to you all soon. Peace.